it going? It is all the news all the time, and my name is Adam, and it's really nice to have you back watching these videos. Some interesting news today coming out from the Mail Online about Marilyn Manson. You remember Marilyn Manson, shock rocker, goes by the name, his real name is Brian. That always makes me laugh. He calls himself Death Stalker or Lord of Doom, real name Brian. I was like, okay, so what's going on with this? Well, he was accused of doing all sorts of nasty things by this woman here, and it reminds me very much of the Amber Heard Johnny Depp situation. Very much reminds me of that. Let's have a look. Exclusive. Judge tosses out lawsuit against Marilyn Manson brought by ex-girlfriend Ashley Morgan Smithline, who accused him of sexual, psychological and physical abuse and claimed he cut her with a swastika emblazoned knife. I mean, what is going on here? But a judge has thrown out the case. The model claims that Manson sexually, psychologically and physically abused her. The case was dismissed without prejudice after Smithline fired her lawyer. So why has she fired her lawyer? What's going on with that? As we can see here, the judge has tossed out the lawsuit against these allegations of these things from this woman, and she, Ashley Morgan Smithline, claimed that Brian committed the abuse during their 2-year relationship. Well, he says the relationship was only 1 week, and she says it's 2 years. So already there's an issue going on. Smithline's case was dismissed without prejudice yesterday after the model fired her lawyer and then failed to meet the deadline to obtain representation, which means another lawyer, in court. And I was thinking, why? Why have you fired the lawyer and can't you represent yourself? Smithline was one of 15 women, including actresses Rachel Wood and Esme Bianco, who made allegations. As it's been chunked out, there's Brian, and it's as we can see. Smithline's claims included that she was sexually assaulted by Manson several times, that he cut her with a swastika emblazoned knife despite her being of Jewish descent, shoved his fist into her mouth during sex, forced her to do a blood pact, and was locked into a soundproof room called the Bad Girls Room whenever she made him angry. And probably get in trouble, but that sounds like a good idea to me. No, I don't mean it, but you know. So I'm in trouble. A judge dismissed her case without prejudice on Tuesday after she failed to provide proper legal representation within the allotted time frame. Okay, so she should have got another lawyer. She was previously being represented by J. L. Wanger, but the attorney withdrew his representation after Smithline allegedly sent him a series of bizarre text messages in which she expressed she no longer wanted him to be her attorney. Okay, so he's withdrawn. She's fired her lawyer. And there's some statements here. The Manson's attorney, this is Marilyn Manson himself, Brian's attorney, Howard King, in a statement to Mail Online said, "We thank and commend Ashley Smithline for dismissing her claims against Brian Warner without seeking or receiving anything in return. We wish her well and will continue to work to assure that a significant price will be paid by those who have tried to abuse our legal system." You can always tell when things are written by lawyers, or I certainly can. And there she is. I don't know what this picture tells us about her. I think, I don't know. Let's have a look. We've got the claims up here. We've got these text messages. So this is a text message from the lawyer, and this is from Ashley Smithline. And he's saying, Ashley, it's not that simple. You have a federal court lawsuit pending. I'm not sure who is writing these text messages, so he doesn't even think it's her. But it doesn't sound like you. We need to speak on the phone. Right? And she says, it may not sound like me because I've put up with all of this for too long. Please put in writing why it's not that simple. Okay, I've just tried calling you. I need to speak to you on the phone to verify that your number has not been hacked. Given the past situation with your stalker, okay, that's new, and the complete change in your position after over a year of representing you, I am uncomfortable communicating with you further via text. Please explain in writing. She's repeating herself here. What's not that simple? I am making these statements on my own. I don't know what that last word was. Make these statements on my own. That doesn't help either. Let's have a look at the second one. But you're right in the middle of a lawsuit, so firing me is a little more complicated than sending a text message, and I'm honestly very concerned about you. This is all very different behaviour than I have ever seen from you, and I've known you for over a year. For example, you have never once said a word about caring about money in this case, and for the first time you asked me when you were getting another cheque. Why would she be getting a cheque in the first place if she's suing someone? When you sue people, you don't get money like as you're suing them. You can be awarded it afterwards. How is she getting money? Where is the money coming from? And she says, I am looking to discharge you. Please let me know when it's done and what needs to be happen. Okay, fair enough. Do you have replacement counsel? I need to be able to represent to the judge who is going to be taking over your lawsuit. Yeah, so he's letting her know you need to have representation, or represent yourself, or they're going to chuck your case out. And here we have Marilyn Manson. This is the op-ed article in the Washington Post. No, it's the it's the cover story of People magazine, where she writes, I survived a monster. Ashley Morgan Smithline says the rock star abused and tortured her for 2 years. He said it was 1 week. That's all very bizarre. And there she is, doing what looks like a Meghan Markle interview with Oprah. And I don't know what he's doing with his hand, some sort of sign of the Illuminati. I'll be bound. I don't know what's going on with that. So what else is going on with this crazy story? What is going on? So the court granted Ellwanger's motion to withdraw. So that's the lawyer for Smithline, and he's withdrawn as Smithline's attorney. And then Smithline herself was then ordered to file either a notice of new counsel, which means let the court know that she's got a new lawyer, or to represent herself. So she can represent herself in court. She doesn't actually need a lawyer at all. All she has to do is let the court know that she's going to be representing herself. But there's always that joke statement, a person who represents themselves in court has a fool as a lawyer, something like that. Yeah, and she did neither. That's the problem. Court documents reviewed by Mail Online indicate that Smithline did not file a response within the date required by the order, so she let it lapse, and therefore the case was thrown out. Well, the court therefore dismisses this action without prejudice for plaintiff, that's the Smithline, for plaintiff's failure to prosecute the action, the documents read. Well, there you go. She didn't say that she's got a new lawyer, and she said she didn't say that she's representing herself. She did nothing, and so it got chucked out. What can you do? In his deposition to the court last year, Manson denied the allegations made by Smithline and accused Wood, another one of his exes, of launching a smear campaign. I understood that on or around February 1st, 2021, Wood posted to Instagram that I was her abuser, and shortly thereafter, a number of other women simultaneously emerged with false public accusations against me of abuse, assault, rape, threats, trafficking, and the like, he told the court. These women include Ashley Morgan Smithline, Ashley Walters, Jane Doe, that's not a real name, Esme Bianco. To the extent I had relationships with these women, these relationships were consensual. Wow, very interesting. The question is, why did she just allow it to lapse? Why did she suddenly fire her own lawyer? And where's this going? Very, very interesting indeed. And she's made this big statement back in February 2021 in the People magazine. Let's have a little look at that. I can't get it as such, can't download it as such, but it's this is the cover of it on Amazon. You can get it for $6.14. But the inside of it, this is the People magazine. This is the cover story of it. Marilyn Manson's ex, Ashley Morgan Smithline, this is back in 2021, thought he was going to kill her during abusive relationship. In one of the cover stories this week, Smithline details the horrific abuse she says she faced at the hands of the metal rocker. I survived a monster, she says, while Manson denies it all. And now, today, we find it's all been thrown out of court. And we also understand that money was changing hands and people were waiting for their next check. Very interesting indeed. So as you can see here in one of the People's cover stories, Smithline, one of 15 women, including actresses, these people, have accused Marilyn Manson of all these things. And she says she survived at the hands of the metal rocker. I survived a monster, she says. She tells People in her first interview, naming Manson as her abuser in February in an Instagram statement. Over the course of 2 years, she says that along with being sexually assaulted by the rock star countless times, Manson bit her, whipped her, cut her with a swastika emblazoned knife, shoved his fist into her mouth during sex. She says she also forced her to a blood pact, and she was locked into what he called the bad girl's room, a glass soundproofed room, whenever he pissed her off. Very strangeness going on here. Very strange. Manson says all his relationships have been entirely consensual. This is just horrible distortion of reality. He was accused of domestic violence back in 21. No charges were filed. There's so many falsehoods, he says, within her claims we wouldn't know where to begin to answer them. The relationship, to the limited extent it was a relationship, didn't last 1 week, but she says 2 years. Smithline provided people with emails and messages she says were from Manson that spanned more than 2 years. Who knows what's going on? Who knows? All we know is it's been thrown out of court because she failed to represent herself or get another lawyer, and she fired a previous lawyer. Very strange indeed. So yeah, it's difficult to know what is what and who's who. I was looking at this little video.
Manson was a 41-year-old heavy metal icon, as well known for his music, posted on Instagram, accusing Manson of abuse, sexual violence, physical violence, and coercion. And now she's telling her full story for the first time.
I have bonded with the 5 other main girls who went through this, and we have found such a strength in numbers, and our stories are all identical. It's disgusting. At least if you're going to be an abusive psychopath, be original.
I don't know. I have trouble believing her. I really do. I'm getting Amber Heard vibes. Yeah, very strange indeed. Very strange. But all we know is it's been thrown out of court because she's failed to represent herself. No charges have been brought against Marilyn Manson, and that's where we are. Very strange indeed. I was looking at the other bits, some stuff in here that I didn't understand either. Where was the bit that I was talking about? Yeah, this bit. Saying here, according to Smithline, Manson started sending her dozens of text messages at all hours of the day, and things started to get slowly more and more invasive. She uses strange language, emotive language. While she was abroad, Smithline, who is of Jewish descent, says the rocker asked her to find Nazi memorabilia from World War II, like throwing stars. Throwing stars? Since when did the Nazis have shuriken and throwing stars? They're not ninjas. How are you going to get a ninja throwing star with a swastika on it? That's just bizarre. Knives, yes, they did use knives. The SS were known for having specialized knives and stuff. Whips, they didn't have whips. No Nazis were walking around with whips whipping people. Maybe it's just bizarre. He kind of made it just like a joke between us, she says. I think at this point I was already coerced enough. I felt he would not like me if I didn't bring these things. If I'd known the weapons would be used on me, I think it would have felt a lot stranger. So are you saying he's using ninja stars on you in bed, like shurikens? What? What? I'm having a lot of problem believing this stuff. It just seems like they're just randomly making things up. But yeah, obviously you're Nazi throwing ninja stars and no, and then using them on you. What is he chucking ninja stars at you? Chucking shurikens at you? I don't think so. I do not think so, lady. And here's a picture of clearly abuse, where she's sitting down, he's playing guitar. I don't know. I do not know. It seems incredibly bizarre. It seems like a whole collection of crazy stories to me. But, I mean, what do I know about things? Well, I know the Nazis didn't have shurikens and they weren't ninjas. That's what I know. And but let me know your thoughts. And yeah, if you know any more about this, let me know, because it's very bizarre. All right, like and subscribe. And if there's more about this, we'll let you know. And yeah, okay. I'm frowning because I'm confused. Okay, I'll see you later.